I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land upon which we stand, the Koomumburri saltwater people. I would like to pay my respects to the traditional Aboriginal people of the Gold Coast and their descendants. A word of caution, images and references to deceased Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people may be contained within this video. There is a lack of Indigenous influence and visibility in the neighbourhood in which I live, mainly a working class community of families, business professionals and retirees. There are mainly European street names derived from the influence of settlers, British and European names, McAllister, Orlando, Edwardson, Leichhardt, Old Coach Road. Streets named after features of nature such as Daintree, Bottle Tree and Cypress. Maranoa means duck egg. This is interesting as we have local wildlife with abundance of ducks in the neighbourhood. There is Park on Jindalba, meaning foot of the mountain, and a street called Dubaji, meaning place of spirits. I am drawn to the street as I visualize a gathering place, community of people cooking and eating around a fireplace, singing, dancing, and celebrating life as a united people. It is encouraging there is Indigenous place names despite the lack of visibility of Indigenous culture. The Park on Jindalba unfortunately does not have any trace of Aboriginal influence, which is disappointing and appalling given the street has a name of Aboriginal origin. I can only imagine the level of devastation First Australians must experience, particularly on Australia Day, when the native country was invaded and generations of Indigenous peoples have suffered from the impact of colonisation. What remains are traces of the creeks, native plants and trees, eucalyptus, cypress, pine, abundant flowers and berries, and wildlife. As I walk around my local neighbourhood and reflect on what remains, I feel grief for the languages and cultures that are lost since European declared Australia to be terra nullius, land belonging to no one. Through this process, I have gained a deeper understanding and appreciation of the land. My daily walks to and from my daughter's school, I find myself noticing scarred trees with missing bark and reflecting on Indigenous people using timber to produce tools for fishing, hunting, and gathering food, spears, fish traps, and canoes. However, Aboriginal culture is visible in the schools in which I work. Flags, gingery, rainbow serpent artwork, totem poles with a platypus and koala, and Indigenous Australian displays such as mosaic tiles and paintings. I have found Aboriginal history is acknowledged and valued by academics and researchers within the school and museum. Of course, it is mainly focused on European history, as the colonisers are the ones who write the history books. On a personal level, I grew up on a sheep and cattle farm in Cooloola Park, 6 kilometres northwest from Charlie's Creek, Chinchilla. Cooloola is a local Aboriginal term meaning deep springs, deep water, and located along the Rocky Creek. The language is not spoken anymore. Over 460,000 languages that are history are lost and displaced from Indigenous people prior to assimilation, where they were slaughtered during the settlement of European colonisation. Aboriginal people were treated worse than livestock and slaughtered on their land due to idealism of European colonisation, which viewed Indigenous people as primitive. The Charlie's Creek was named after local Aboriginal tracker Charlie Fisher, who assisted German explorer Ludwig Leichhardt. Leichhardt explored the many creeks and rivers in the Chinchilla region in the 1860s, including our property, Cooloola Park, and camping along Rocky Creek. This early influence, combined with my family's interest in history, served to spark curiosity in First Australians' languages, culture, and history. Within this early 19th century influence, Darwinism deemed Anglo-Saxons superior over all other ethnicities, including the nation's first people of Australia. Today we know that race is a false construct used from outdated idealism. Hence, the influences of the European settlement and their justification of terra nullius as a land belonging to no one, causing the historical destruction of culture. Yet, it is my hope that Australia can move forth in the spirit of reconciliation and bring together diverse groups of people.